UFC Fight Night Hall vs. Silva took place Saturday, October 31st at UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. In tonight's main event, we will see a clash between middleweight KO artists when Uriah Hall takes on legendary former champion Anderson the Spider Silva, and a clash of two of the most dynamic strikers in the sport. This event will be closed to the public. Let's talk Silva versus Hall. The number 10th ranked runner-up on the Ultimate Fighter Season 17th, Uriah Hall, 16-9, fighting out of Queens, New York, intends to claim the biggest victory of his career when he takes on his personal idol and former UFC middleweight champion in Silva. Hall is a dynamic striker that has flashes of brilliance with his impressive unorthodox striking that has been very difficult for his opponents. He has had some ups and downs, but he is now on a 2-fight win streak and looking to continue that streak with a big win over the Spider tonight. But on the other side of the octagon, you have who some considers to be one of the greatest fighters on the planet in Anderson the Spider Silva. 34-10, fighting out of Brazil, seeks to deliver a vintage performance in what could be the final bout of his career. Silva, the former UFC middleweight champion, having the record for the longest title reign in UFC history at 2,457 days, and in his prime was one of the most creative and dominant strikers we have ever seen in the octagon. And at the age of 45, and talks of this being his retirement fight, looks to add one more brilliant performance to his fight resume and walk away into the sunset. And here's how it went down. The fight started with a very slow pace, not surprising, with each fighter being out of the octagon for over a year. The fight was really a back and forth match, with each fighter landing a few good shots, but neither fighter really stepping into their punches yet and dominating through the first two rounds. At the end of round one, Hall's corner was asking him, "Let it go." Silva had excellent movement and angles, limiting Hall's output through two rounds, and not a lot of action thus far from either fighter, but Hall was starting to find a home for his nice jab as well. In round three, both fighters started to heat up, and Silva was starting to look good, but late in the third round, Anderson went on the attack and got the worst end of a quick right hand that sat Silva to the mat, and Hall followed up with several good punches when the bell possibly saved Silva. In round four, Hall lands another shot that sat the former champ down again, followed by a few punches to the down Silva, and Herb Dean had no choice but to step in and stop the bout. Uriah Hall defeats Anderson Silva by TKO at a minute 24 of round 4. Here's my final thoughts. Let's be honest, I think we're all thinking the same thing. Can the 45-year-old walk off into the sunset beating a much younger and very skilled Uriah Hall? Well, we have our answer. Silva showed signs of the old Spider with his elusive movements and creative striking, keeping Hall off balance. But in the end, Silva's chin just couldn't hold up to the young lion, who showed he was just too much. I know for myself, and the soon-to-be Hall of Famer Anderson Silva has been an inspiration and has also inspired a generation of young fighters as well. The always entertaining Silva throughout his career has given us so many incredible fights and entertained us for almost a decade, and holds the record for the longest title reign in UFC history at 2,457 days, and a record holder for the longest UFC win streak at 16 from 2006 to 2012. That record may never be broken. I remember when he made his UFC Octagon debut in 2006, letting the UFC world know who he was with the KO destruction of Chris Lieben. Being the competitor he is, he couldn't tell Michael Bisping in the post-fight Octagon interview if this was his retirement bout, but I believe there is nothing left for one of the greatest fighters to ever enter the Octagon. Now let's talk about Hall. He looked calm and poised tonight, and powerful, and showed his skills, not getting intimidated by the former champion Silva. Hall is with a new team now and on a 3-fight win streak, and seems to be in the right headspace for a fighter, and with a few more wins, he can be right back in title contention. Okay, here's some quick stats on Uriah Hall. He is the number 10th ranked UFC middleweight contender. He has now 13 wins by KO, 1 by submission. He was the runner-up on the Ultimate Fighter Season 17 with his KO win over Adam Cella that remains among the most spectacular in tough history. He now holds stoppage wins over Gegard Mousasi, Chris Lieben, Bevon Lewis, and now Anderson the Spider Silva. Okay, what's next for Hall? Well, there's a lot of options for the number 10th ranked Hall. Earlier in the year, he did have a bout scheduled with Jacare and the number 5 ranked Yoel Romero, but both fights fell through. You have the number 4 ranked Jack Hermansson versus the number 6 ranked Darren Till facing off this year, so this leaves a few options of Hall, possibly facing the number 9 ranked Chris Weidman, or the number 7th ranked Derek Brunson, or possibly the number 5th ranked Yoel Romero. I like the storyline of the rematch with the former training partner and teammate on The Ultimate Fighter and the number 8th ranked Kevin Gastelum, which Hall lost a decision to in 2013. Both fighters are somewhat familiar with each other, but over the years, each fighter has grown a tremendous amount and went on to new teams that are much different fighters. Like I said, there's a lot of options here. Guys, let me know in the comments who you think Hall should face next. Just wanted to give a big shout out to all of our loyal fans. I really appreciate all the support. Don't forget to smash that like button. This is Jake Hatton with MMA Weekly's The Lowdown Breakdown. See you next time.